On real film sets, we don't have much time. Everything's really fast-paced, so you don't have much time for creativity. A few months ago, I shot a music video where we needed two different lighting modes. One should feel like a daylight scene and one should feel like a night scene. In this YouTube video, I'm going to show you how you can recreate these looks very easy with one simple GVM lighting setup system. I don't want to talk only about stacks. I'm going to show you a real-world step-by-step guide, how I managed the shot, how I set it up, how I enhance my vision, so you can copy every single detail of this. This is Slovena, she's the model of the day, and we start with where I put the camera and then build step by step each light to create our two modes. One daylight morning mood and one night mood. Okay, let's start with the problems. If you look at the frame, we have this very unpleasant light on this side of the face. We have a little bit of flickering in the room. Overall, there's no depth, no atmosphere. So the first thing we always do is turn every light off that it's not supposed to be here. We have all the ceiling lights that are on. They have a very strange color temperature. They're around 4000 Kelvin, very unpleasant, far away from the nice morning look we want to create. Now, if you look at the image, it's pretty dark. There's no detail in there. And the first thing I always do is I light the background. Normally people start with the key light, but starting with the key light gives you a lot of problems because now we have to balance everything around the key light. So my technique is always start with the background, start with the atmosphere, start with the texture, and then we'll get a better image. As you can see here in the back, it's no detail at all. So I want to elevate the back room a little bit more. So in the background, I placed a few of these lights. These are just normal lights that you can tap on it, and they have different range. I will always go for the lowest one because the most important thing for image, it just has to glow so that there's life in the image. When you do too much, it gets overexposed and kills the mood, kills the dynamic range. Also here, I will set up this lamp. Now if we look closely at the image, you can see we have actually here a light that I don't want. We don't get the feeling like, where's the sun? We want sun feeling. We want that the morning sun is blasting outside. Okay, the next thing I want to do is a nice sunlight from outside. So we take the 650B and place it in front of the window. Like here, you can see here's actually a lot of light leaks, but because you're standing here, it's not that bad. Now with the app, we can actually control it from inside, which is very handy. When you have a setup and not a lot of crew, you don't want to walk for every shot that you want to make. I just hit here and turn the light on. As you can see, this is off and now on. We get a nice texture in the background. So the image now feels a lot more alive than before. And this is at 20%. That would be 100. The next thing I want to do is the key light. As you can see in the image, everything's pretty warm because I set the color temperature of the light. These ones are at 3000 and the light from outside is 2700, which gives us the most warm sun-like feeling. And now everything comes together, the room feels set. Now we add the key light. The best thing about the Z200B, because it's so flat, I can place it in very tight spaces. The space between her and the wall is like this much. The problem with the light dome is they have too much depth, so she would have to stand here, it will ruin the composition, and that's not something we want. That's the reason why these carpet lights are so powerful. And like before, I can go into my app, set the white balance, set the light on, and now we get a nice key light. This video is sponsored by GVM, so if you're interested in the products, you can find the link in the video description. I already owned two 300Cs before they connected with me, so I'm very happy about this cooperation because I think they have really nice products, and in this video I hope I can show you how flexible they are. Now we have this really nice roll off. It looks very soft, and now the light feels very natural and we get this nice morning look. Can you act a little bit like you're drinking morning coffee? Wow, cinematic masterpiece. I can actually show you right now why this backlight here is so important. Because most of people don't light the background. And if I set the 650B off, you will notice the problem. We have practically the same mood than before, but it looks fake because now everything feels lit because there's no light motivation. The audience doesn't know where's the light coming from. So we turn the light back on, get this nice texture on the sofa, maybe a little less, maybe like this, this is enough. Sure, there are power masks, we can change everything a little bit in DaVinci Resolve, but to get a similar, nice, even look, this looks perfect in my opinion. We can also try different color temperatures. You can now see this is 3200 before. This would be 5.5. This would be a pretty neutral look in contrast to the other lights, but I don't think that looks very pleasant. But for this time, I think to give full warm is a pretty nice look to even enhance the contrast to our next look. The only thing I would probably change right now is a backlight. This looks very dark. Normally, I'm not a big fan to always use a backlight. I don't think it's necessary. But here you can actually see we have no bright background behind here. But we have also a lot of light motivations that will transit the light to her back. I will pick another light from GVM, another zip line. But the problem is I'm pretty lazy. I don't have any cables anymore. I don't want to find another power source. The good thing about them is you can use a V-mount battery. So I will just use a normal V-mount battery like this, put it into the light, and then we can create a nice background light. So we are also out of sandbags, so I will go a little bit with the light into the frame. Color temperature I will set to very, very warm because of the backlight. It's around 2700 right now. As you can see, we don't need much power. 8%, 0.3. It's probably enough. Just yank this up out of frame, and now you can see that we get this nice backlight around her. Also her hair is glowing a little bit, and that suits the look at the end of the day. And I think now we have a really nice morning look. Now the real challenge is, after we set up our morning look, can we change the look completely with only using the app and just a few tweaks and nothing else? I said many times before, filmmakers are lazy. So I'm going to show you how you can change the whole look just with white balance. One of the biggest advantages from GVM for me is transport size. These lights are very affordable. So a lot of people that use these lights don't have a dedicated truck for lighting or something like that. Also, this is the size of the carpet light. It's pretty much the same size as the light itself. And you can see how narrow it is. It's really just a few centimeters. So you can actually, if you had 20 of them, easily put every one of them into your car. The first thing I would change, now the light looks very soft, very pleasant. It's now a darker, more dramatic look, so we can go both ways. One thing is that you can go really soft because the moonlight can feel very soft, very harmonic, or you go more contrasty. So that's the reason why we set this light a little bit further down, so we get more of a half-lit look and not get too much wrap onto her face. But before we do that, we turn our backlight off, because that's not the mood that we want, and also turn off our key light and start from the beginning. So as you can see, we are here on different heights, so it's a little bit problematic, but with enough power, enough will, there shouldn't be any problems, because the light is not that heavy. I'll also turn the light more vertical so that we don't have any wrap around her face, and it should get more side lit. So we turn it on, I think, and go really close up with her. Also now, I wouldn't do this backlight because it's not the atmosphere that we want. So I remove it for the beginning. So as you can see now, we have much more half-lit face onto her. Can you look to right, to the left one time for me? Right, and to the left. Perfect. And now we need this cold moonlight. So I go back to my app, turn on the backlight, and now we change the Kelvin to a total different temperature. Now as you can see, we have this very cool, cold look. And the same thing goes for her face. And change the lighting also here. Now it would go a little bit colder than 5.5. You can see now everything's a bit bright. So I would go down a little bit. Also the backlight is a little bit too much for me in my opinion, and turn down the intensity. So only should feel a little bit colder outside. Also what I'm not digging now is the wall here in the background. So I would probably change the angle to hide it a little bit. So much more like this. The light was a little bit too harsh for me, so I throw in an extra bit of diffusion over our current light to make everything a little bit softer. Another thing you can do is also you can zip tie these lights together. Normally you have one size of these lights, but these lights you can combine with a nice smart zip system. You can practically make this light as big as you want. This would be a situation where we can create a bigger source so the light gets a little bit softer, but it would be too soft for the look that I want to go through. And now you would probably say, Marco, this still looks like morning light. Yes, but now we have to change the Kelvin of the camera. But now we're dropping it at 3600. Everything looks already cooler. Now I will adjust just the light in the background a little bit so that it just looks like moonlight. And now it looks already pretty good, but something is still missing. The ambience is a little bit off. Everything is too dark. There's no fill atmosphere. Normally I would haze, but haze is very hard to control. So there's the other thing you can do. Just bounce a light into the ceiling, also on a very cold Kelvin. I don't have to go there because I have everything in my app set up. So this is with a little bit of ambience. You can see she gets a little bit kick, but we are on 3500, which is not the Kelvin we want. We change it to 6800, and now we can already see we get this nice ambient sitting here. Maybe just turn a little bit so that it's only hitting your hair. The overall room gets a little bit brighter. Now we have a nice dark atmosphere. So you can actually go even further with the look, but now I think it looks pretty good. We have this very cold key light, still soft, but a little bit harder. Then we have this nice blue moonlight hitting the couch. I would add an extra light, normally not to the background, to add a night light shaft so that it gets another layer, but we're out of lights. And when you look at the images back to back, we have two very different looks and situations and moods, but we only thing which actually changed is a little bit of white balance and intensity, and we did everything with the app. There are actually a few things I want to criticize also about the lights. One thing about the Z200B zip lights, noise fan could be a little bit quieter, but nowadays it's not that important because we have DaVinci Resolve, Premiere. We can easily fix audio situations most of the time. So it's actually not that dramatic. So who should buy these lights? I think everyone could actually buy these lights. It's for semi-professionals, for professionals also, because we have the MX control and everything. The light quality is insane. It's no different in my opinion than the competitors out there. They're very affordable for young filmmakers. When you start buying your lighting equipment, I would always try to buy from the same brand, because something like the app control really enhances your workflow. And when you have different lights, you can connect them that easily. And why would you want to make your work any harder? I hope you enjoyed the video and the products. My name is Marco Bagnoli, and we see you next time.